Midday Northwest is sponsored by Advantage Legal Group.
Hello again. Many homeowners find themselves fighting to stay out of foreclosure, but running into obstacle after obstacle. That's when groups like Advantage Legal Group can help you. Attorney Jonathan Smith joins us along with his client John to share how Advantage Legal Group helped him keep his home and manage an all-too-common financial disaster. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Jonathan, just sort of set up John's situation for you. When he came to you, what was the circumstance?
Well, John, like many people, had found himself in some financial problems, and he'd fallen behind in the mortgage and had attempted to do a modification like thousands of people have been trying to do. He went through, I think it was a 27-month odyssey of applying 3 separate times for a modification. In the beginning, it seemed like he would get it, and then they would turn him down for one reason or another. And finally, they were moving, frankly, to foreclose, and although he could pay, they just wouldn't work with him. So he looked us up online and came to us at that point.
John, what is it like for a family when they're caught? I mean, 27 months is a long time to be living in limbo and not knowing if you're going to stay in your house or not.
Yeah, it was really scary when it first started. You know, we were in an arm loan, so it kept climbing. And it threw the ratios off real badly. So I started this in 2008. You know, I started applying when the home loan modifications were new. Jonathan already called it out, but you know, after 27 months and 3 attempts, you know, some of these campaigns would run 11 months and then you'd get denied. The first time I went through it, we were making too much. The second time, too little. The third time, kind of a mystery. So
you had the arm. Did you have a job loss or a health problem, or what had sort of kicked off the problem?
At the very end, we did, but what happened is the arm climbed beyond the ratios that we were used to.
Got it.
So, you know, we continued on with these, and finally in July, you know, after the 3rd denial in 3 years of this, I finally, you know, I went into the research mode, met Jonathan and his staff, and that's where we kicked off our effort.
So you had done everything you could do as a homeowner. You realized you needed some additional help.
Yes.
Now, you were telling me, Jonathan, just a few minutes ago that the foreclosures are up in Washington State because things have been slowed down by the Attorney General and whatnot for the last couple of years. And you also mentioned that 90% of people who qualify for these modification programs don't apply because we think lots of them don't even know they exist.
Right. The banks aren't telling anybody about this. If you're behind and you're talking to your bank, they are telling you that you can do a modification with them, you can do a deed in lieu, you can do a short sale, or you're going to face foreclosure. They never tell you about modifying your loan under the Washington State Foreclosure Fairness Act, which is legislation put into effect in 2011 for homeowners in our state. And like you just mentioned, 90% of those eligible to try to save their homes are not doing so, and I think it's because they don't even know about it.
How do you know if you are qualified for this program?
If you are a homeowner and it is your primary residence and your bank is one of the big ones, whether that's Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, etc., all the big banks are subject to it, then you are qualified. You need to get a notice of default from the bank. That opens your window of opportunity to request it. Your window of opportunity closes upon the recording, 20 days after the recording of the notice of trustee sale. So there is a window of opportunity. You cannot request it yourself. It can only be requested by a housing counselor or an attorney, such as myself. So, but the banks aren't telling people about it.
Do you have to, you have to be your own best advocate. What was the outcome?
We just had a great experience. And Jonathan and his firm have the expertise not only in the law area but in the mortgage arena, you know, in modification. So we started in August. I think first thing out of the gates was they established a lot of trust. They taught my wife and I how to be patient. You know, when you get to the end and we were exasperated.
I can only imagine.
I think they kind of calmed us down and said, hey, no guaranteed outcomes, but let's take
keep your powder dry and let's work on this.
Exactly. So we worked from August up until December. We did a mediation, and that was where an individual like myself wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, you're just kind of outgunned and you need some help at that point. But it turned out you got your modification, right?
Yes.
And kept your home.
We were very, very happy. I mean, they were able to bring the payment down each month by 49%. And so this really freed up everything. You know, my wife and I are both employed. We were able to get all the debt reduced. This keeps the home. It allows us to continue raising our son here locally where we've been 16 years. and just I couldn't have been happier. I'm still on cloud 9 because we just found out about a week and a half ago.
Oh, congratulations then. That makes for a much better Valentine's Day,
yeah.
I'm just saying. Thank you both very much. The important thing is that there are several upcoming foreclosure defense seminars in the Seattle area. That's a great way to find out about this, right? The first one is Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon at the Bellevue Coast Hotel. We posted more information about this and other seminars on our website and a link to Advantage Legal Group's website for you. Thank you both very much for being here. I'm very happy for you. When we come back, a 10-minute workout that can truly ease chronic pain. We'll see it in action right after this.